are Metasource Games. I'm Robert Trussardi.
And I'm Joshua Aridhall Cantrell. We believe in scarcity-based gaming and the power of player ownership.
We are a small team focused on becoming #1 in blockchain and metaverse gaming.
So get ready and take a ride with us through the Metasource.
Hello, everybody. We're back here with Through the Metasource, episode number 13. Can you believe it? We're at episode number 13. Blows my mind every time we add another number. It's like we're doing it, Josh. We're doing it. I am Robert Trussardi, the creator of Metasource Games and Castles, the NFT game. With me is Joshua Aridhall, also known as Aridhall on our Discord, Cantrell. He is my full business partner in Metasource Games. Together, we create castles and all of our other gaming stuff, and we make it super awesome together. So yeah, welcome everybody. Let's take a look at the Discord chat. Infinity, TCG, James Curtin, Vish G, welcome back. Warrior Lion Gaming, hello Warrior Lion. Thank you for covering us on YouTube. We watch your channel; it's a lot of fun. And yeah, so today we're going to be doing the miner event. Just finished today. There were over 1,500 miners crafted in Castles, the NFT game, and we're going to hold a raffle. So there are some prizes, including some miners and some land packs. Miners specifically mint 1, 2, and 3. Some land packs and some lands. Do we have any hero packs? I don't think we do we?
No, not this time.
No hero packs this time. But yeah, we're super excited to hold the raffle event. We'll be doing it in Crittercraft. So if you participated in the miner event, you got one basically ticket, one raffle ticket per a craft. And each of those tickets is going to count as 1 point in the raffle. You can win multiple times in the raffle. So there will be 389 individual raffle packs sent out. Yeah, so them's the rules. Also in this, we're going to hold an AMA, just get a couple of your questions and feedbacks and stuff. We just launched the free-to-play mode. Also, a really big release we're having tomorrow is the commanders for Apex Conquest. If you guys have been playing Apex Conquest, it's really awesome mode where basically it's a metaverse game. You are able to essentially build, have a commander. You're able to build a deck of an army and send that army out to collect tokens for you. And you can choose all kinds of different tokens. You can choose M-Source, which is the castle's token. You can choose a Ether, which is our planet. Brawl, which is Brawl, blockchain brawlers. And what are the other big ones on there, Josh? They're the big tokens.
So, there's Aether from Our Planet, Loot from Warsaken, Kyanite if you're playing Starship NFT, or the RLM from Realm NFT, and lots of other tokens. I think there's 16 tokens now, including Nefty, and a lot of people I know get Nefty from just doing their trading on the Nefty marketplace. And that's a lot of fun. And up until this point, it's only really been a creator tool. As creators, we use Nefty. We burn it when we add banners, right, to the Nefty website. But now players can actually go ahead and use it themselves in Apex Conquest. So that's, as far as I know, it's actually the first gamified use for the Nefty token. They were really excited about that.
Nice. Yeah. It's been fun playing with. Been leveling up my commander. So the really big thing on these commanders going to get dropped are going to give you double experience. So in Apex Conquest. So they're first edition limit or special commanders. That's what we call them. So they're better than basically the standard commanders. So those will be selling for $100 each. If there are any questions about that later, if there's anything else that Josh wants to share about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. There are 100 packs that are going to be for sale, just 100, and that's not 100 per commander. That's 100 total, and it is a random commander that you'll pull from your pack. So one of the four crafters, right? So all of the crafters that we currently have, that's the Baron, Lumberjack, Carpenter, and of course the brand new Miner. And so all four of those are represented. That does mean approximately there will be 25 of each, but you know how RNG is. Some will probably be higher and some will be lower. So they're definitely going to be a very scarce set of commanders. They do also come with a commendation, which is how you recharge your commanders. Definitely a little bit inspired by our royal seal, which is awesome. And then they also come with 20 troops, and you only need 10 per commander. So that those 20 troops that you will get is more than enough to start playing right away, and probably sustain you, throughout most of at least the first week, probably without having to do anything else. So it's a really great opportunity to get maybe your first commander, or if you're already playing, get some very scarce limited commanders. It's been a lot of fun. There's been a lot of collaboration, and I know there are more tokens coming. A few different excited parties who are trying to join in on that, and it's been a fun game. There's definitely some RNG to it. So if you don't really like RNG based games, it may not be for you. I just want to make sure that's clear up front. You do have a chance to lose, and your troops do die. And that's how the ecosystem works, right? People are having to buy more troops. That's how they get the tokens into the game. That's basically the cycle. You win some, you lose some. But in a lot of those pools, when you're winning, you're winning 10, 15 whacks per victory. So it really does usually pay for your troop costs. It's been working really good. So hopefully that's going to be an exciting thing going forward. And with more tokens and more collaboration throughout whacks, that should be a lot of fun. And hopefully some of our new players will be able to experience some of that. And also, of course, Castle's gameplay. We're really excited to have everybody here.
Yeah, we are. So let's say hello to Alex McCall, who said, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And Jay Ray all day. Good to see you, Jay Ray. Julian M, who's one of our moderators, and he also came up with the name Banquet for the Royal Banquet. So thank you, Julian, for supporting us as moderator and for coming up with that name. Devi Metal, our community support manager, is also here. Good to see you, Devi Metal. He says, "Howdy, folks. Busy day today." Yes, very busy, but it's been really exciting. Really super exciting. So just a couple more shout outs. Thank you to all of our moderators who help us in the community. There's a bunch of you, too much to name right in this short span of time, but we appreciate you guys helping us, keep the community running, answering everybody's questions, helping them with any issues, and as well as Apex NFT, who creates Apex Conquest. They make the game that is going to be part of our sell and collaboration for that drop that is happening tomorrow. And they really take really great care of us. They take really great care of you. So they're super awesome. Victor is the CEO of that company, and they really care about the game. You guys can tell just by looking at the Castle's website and the Castle's game and the free-to-play mode and the amount of attention to detail that they put into it. So thank you to them. All right, so why don't we go ahead and jump into the raffle? So we'll go ahead and do the we'll go ahead and do the we're going to do it in Crittercraft. Let's see. And then after that, we'll do a little sneak preview of the Blacksmith Guild, what that looks like, and then an AMA. So let's see. So I can do the Crittercraft thing. Just have to kind of get up here. All right, as a side note, the free-to-play mode has really taken off. We have over 3,000 players now. No, it's over 4,000 players on DAP Radar, active users. So that is awesome. I think that's only going to go up. We'll see if I'm actually right about that. But I mean, it's a fun mode. Like, everyone did a really great job. And I actually want to talk more about that later. But for now, let's go ahead and get into giveaway. But let me share my screen really quickly. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen very quickly. So this is all of the everybody who was eligible for the minor raffle by having a minor ticket. We're going to take this whole list and we're going to copy and paste that into Grubfish. So I actually do need to switch the window that I'm sharing. So where is, oh, that's, yeah, so I'm using, I don't want to do a picture-in-picture effect, so I just remembered that I have to use a different window in order to do that, or else you guys are gonna get a picture effect, and that'll just be weird. Go ahead, share that screen again. All right, so you can see this Crittercraft thing, right? Let me see. Yeah,
Yep.
there it is. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and paste all this. There's like no, because I don't know what that'll do. And at the end of this, we'll be able to copy the winners. So it's just going to be one round. And yeah, it's going to be violent. There's going to be a lot of grubfish dying. If you can't handle cartoon violence, I suggest you look away. So let's see. Where is... Oh.
Is there...
Oh, there we go. I just had to click on the grubfish thing. There we go. 1540 of 1540 something. 1543, I think.
Now it's 1540 because 3 is our prizes.
Okay. Okay.
So 1540 is the right number.
Yeah. How's this? Is this lagging at all for you guys? Hopefully not. But
it actually looks okay on my end. It's
nice.
I mean, it's obviously too many stinking grubfish to tell who's got what, but
oh yeah, it's a mess. 686 grubfish remaining. I'm just desensitized to the amount of bloody gore.
Green gooey gore.
We're just killing these poor digital innocent creatures who just came into being a moment ago. And now I just like want to go into like a movie mode and just like see what this looks like in a movie. It's just like, but we were just spawned. Don't kill us. No. All right. Oh, 60, 50.
It's in like apocalypse mode, man. It's killing these guys so fast.
There we go. 13, 11. NRFB Toy Store still up. Oh, NRFB Toy Store. Our little celebrity just might make it. He just might make it. Oh no!
Oh nope.
Got bit. RRY. So we do want to give a little something extra to the last survivor there. Gonna copy this. But RRYMO, you survived with well, you didn't survive, but you were the last to survive. Congratulations. So it's the top 389 who are going to get the packs. Again, there will be people who win multiple packs. It was basically, one raffle point is one one chance to win a prize. So there'll be people who win multiple times. That is just how it works. And so we'll be posting that
go
list
ahead and
very soon.
Paste that into the results and I'll start working on it.
All right, yeah, I'll put that into column Mhm. It's all bigger. Did I do wrong? Oh, it's because I didn't paste it at the top there. Sorry, guys. There we go. All right, and yeah, so we'll be sharing this. And is it already shared or no? We haven't shared the full list yet, but I think we'll probably do that. We usually do that. And then we will send you guys all the prizes. All the prizes. Was that not fun? Was it not fun with the killing the grubfish? With all the green blood, and now there were winners, and you'll be getting your prizes. I don't even know what
You're a
accent.
nut, man.
It was
Yeah,
like a little bit of Swedish, a little bit of like,
it
Indian.
was it was
It
bad.
was it was
It was
bad.
not good.
Yeah, that I'm not sure that's exactly what I was going for. I was going to go for like, Robert, you should quit your day job and go be an actor because that was
Yeah,
obviously your calling.
I don't
You're,
know about that.
yeah, come on. It's just my
Ah,
dreams. It's that, what would life be if I didn't have a business partner who just crushed all my other dreams and kept me locked in a box so that I just keep pumping out castles all day. Castles all day. Ah, that's fun. Julian M says, if I win, then I'll say I had fun. Elsewise, I was at the least entertained. Mike Jones says that accent was 80% German, 20% Indian. Yes, that's what it was. I mean, I don't even know what I'm doing. I just know I've watched a lot of movies, and then every once in a while I just regurgitate what I experienced in the movies. I have a life. I have a real life. It's out there somewhere. So uh, J Ray all day says they could have lived a whole life as an NFT. Yeah, yeah, they those poor little grubfish, they could have. If only they'd survived. So we're also going to show what the Blacksmiths Guild looks like. How do I do that? Ta-da! The Blacksmiths Guild wonder, everybody. So so basically they get all of this, the ore, and then they put it in a bunch of carts, and then they thought it was a genius idea to then put this giant cauldron at the top of a pyramid. So a bunch of donkeys, very poor donkeys and horses, have to cart all this ore all the way to the top in this steaming hot pyramid that is just like, probably, I don't know, 150 degrees, in the cold spots. Take all of that ore to the top of this cauldron, put it inside the cauldron so that they can melt it down. And then they basically just like drop it all from the cauldron, let it go zigzaggy down all through the stone pyramid here. And this was really just like a magnificent design in terms of logistics and safety. This was yeah. Do not let your frost giant friends come work at the Blacksmiths Guild. Only people with heat resistant armor, are probably suggested to come and to work at the Blacksmiths Guild. You have to bring your own armor, obviously. But yeah, the Blacksmiths Guild wonder, in all seriousness, what it will allow you to do is craft weapons, or rather upgrade weapons and equipment inside of the dungeon's expansion. So if you have one of these wonders, it basically allows you to have a spot. It gives you a slot to upgrade your weapons. So you can upgrade your common weapons into uncommon. I'm sorry, your common equipment into uncommon equipment. If you have a high bounty, that actually allows you to convert your uncommon equipment into rare equipment. It does take some time and days. It does take metal, so it is part of the economy. And it's really great if like you're not rolling the kind of armor that you want to get, and so you just keep rolling new armor, and hopefully you'll get something upgraded that you like. Julian M says, "Bring your inner tubes and take a ride down the ride." I
That'd be
hope
sweet.
your inner tube is made out of adamantium or
Castle's theme
something.
park when?
Castle's theme park. This is the Castle's theme park. You've been in the Castle's theme park. This is it. This is it, guys. John Rumses says, "Looks very sharp. Thank you for joining us, John, one of our community moderators. Good to see you." Eddie Longshake says, "We are all NFTs in the Matrix." Eddie says, "Magical heat, they say." Yeah. James Curtin says, "Maybe they load up the ball and use the crane." Ooh, it's a good idea. Maybe they do. Maybe it is like a crane and like move it up and down. I got to talk to the guy who made this thing. I mean, I was just looking at it, making up a story, but when you take a look at it, actually, yeah, that is a crane. It looks like it's probably highly flexible. And so instead of having to cart all that ore up, maybe instead they just have like a bunch of slave people, and they just basically like turn like a giant thing, like a giant wheel that then like moves it up and down. We don't call them slaves though. We call them
It's medieval, so they're serfs, right? It'd be
yeah, serfs. There we go. It's medieval. It's a
yeah.
polite way of saying people that we don't pay and don't let them go anywhere. Make sure they don't go anywhere.
The feudal
Don't pay
system.
them.
They put a fresh coat of paint on things.
Yeah, they're so slavery is bad. Everybody, slavery probably one of the worst. One of those top 5 bad things that that you could do without in the world. So luckily we are mostly in a slave-free world these days. I'm sure there are countries where that kind of thing still happens, but let's not turn the conversation into a downer. I'm not going to be blame Josh for this conversation I'm having. I mean, it's not like I brought up the term slave.
No comment.
No comment. No comment. All right.
On better comments. I I've got the miners guild, the not miners guild, the miner crafter results. They are posted in Discord, so you can go take a look at those now. And not only that, but you will start getting those packs very shortly, so you can start bragging about your amazing pulls or lamenting when you pull farms. It is what it is. There are more than half of those will be farms, just so everybody knows. You absolutely are perfectly free and allowed to buy or sell them on secondary, but just make sure that everybody is well aware that the majority of these things do end up being farms. There's awesome prizes too. There's a castle, there's some cities, there's a couple of King's Vault packs, there's even a Baron in there. But still farms pretty heavy majority. And of course, the second image on the NFT itself will give you that full list. It's the same as the reward list was on the website, but it does give you a nice little reference.
And so the Blacksmiths Guild will be craftable starting next week. The bounties will be active later. So after you have a bounty, you won't be able to use it immediately. It's really the artwork that is taking quite a while. There's a lot of artwork for us to deal with. There are just like thousands of these individual equipment pieces for the heroes, and they look really awesome, but they do take like a boatload of time for us to basically finish and then make the templates for. And yeah, guys, it just takes time. So we appreciate your patience as we get through making all of those making all those templates and getting through that. It's a process for us to make sure that all of them are basically all of them are basically
Working
what they should be
correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, done correctly, it does take time. But here's, some of you have probably already seen some of these armor sets, but I just want to kind of show them off again. These are some of the heroes that are going to be, or some of the equipment that's going to be in the game. So I think this is actually a legendary Luna and a mythic Kaldor and a mythic Bancroft set. Again, these are customizable, so that's really super cool. And we're also working on very soon here doing another basically like showcase of what it looks like to update your heroes, what it looks like to basically be able to start to mix and match these things. It's really cool, guys. It's actually really cool to be able to look at them and then just switch up like, oh, is it this helm? Or like maybe like this cape or these dragon wings or this shield, or this weapon or orb or owl or dragon, or what does the base look like? Is it like, the steaming lava? Is it some kind of like snow thing or like forest thing? Is it the treasure chest? Like there's just like so many possibilities. It's super exciting. So we're working on getting a video out that basically showcases us showing again like just how deep the customization goes. And we think this is going to be a massive hit. If you guys have seen from the free-to-play mode, that seems to be really well received so far with the factions. We think the same thing is going to be like with the heroes, except it's going to be the heroes and the hero classes rather than the factions. And so we're super excited for it. Super duper excited for it.
Yeah,
Mike
good
Jones
reminder.
there.
Good reminder from Debbie just now. As these packs are going out, remember that they are pre-minted packs, which is a Nifty Blocks exclusive feature, which means you cannot open the packs on Atomic Hub. You don't want to burn them for sure. Go onto Nifty Blocks and open them that way. I'll post the link in Discord once it's done, which should be like 5 minutes or less. But yes, that's a very, very good reminder. And quick answer for Mike Jones. He addressed a question for me for the Kevin Smacks YouTube thing. That one's going to be open for a little while, right? So there's not going to be anything sent out right away. It'll take a little while. There's a limited amount of winners, so we're tracking that. We are taking the data, but it'll be a few days before those go out. So just to answer that question real quick.
Okay, James Diaz just came by. He says he's got to go, but thank you for joining us, James Diaz. Thank you for saying those awesome things about us. Oh, that's right. I can click on the peoples and do that. Cool. And see. Mike Jones says, hope you share some dev resources with Apex. The back end design is solid, but front end needs some love. How do you mean need some love? I think you'd have to be more specific by what you mean, and then maybe we can come back to that comment.
I'm sure that suggestions in the Discord over there are always appreciated. If there's any pain points.
Crypto AI says only minted one miners. Doubt I got anything. Well, you never know.
There were only 1,500 minted, so it's about a 1 in 5 chance, even with just one. So it's possible. The list is posted in Discord, so you can definitely go check it out. Posting right now in Discord also. So all the packs have been distributed. So if you were on the list of winners, 389 winners, you should have your pack in your wallet already. So that's really awesome. And I'm posting the link to opening the packs on Nifty Blocks just in case anybody needs help with it. Yeah, see, look, there you go. He did win.
Oh, he did. He did, right. I clicked on it, didn't even put those two together. But yeah, congratulations, Crypto AI. Gotta love the RNG. Sometimes the RNG is good to you, and other days it's like, oh, I just had dental surgery. That probably was not a good idea. Right this side of the mouth. Wisdom tooth pulled, 2 implants put in. Whew. My gums are still healing, guys. Still healing. Too much information, right? But that's what you get when the host slaps himself on the wrong side of the mouth. And we won't go into Josh having the coronavirus. You're hanging in there. You're looking pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I took a whole mess of Dayquil, like a dose and a half, and drank a couple cups of coffee. So if I'm just like a little twitchy, then I'm fueled. I'm currently fueled by Dayquil and caffeine, and I'm keeping myself muted a little more than usual because my voice is a little bit screwy, and I am occasionally having to cough a little bit. It's not that bad. I've had it a few times, so it's just kind of like an obnoxious cold at this point, right? But it's still not very fun. And yeah, I'm shut in the house at home for anybody wondering. But I live down here in the dungeon anyways, right? So you guys know about that with the asbestos and whatever other memes you want to add to it.
Here's a question for you from Thel Clay. Will the new Castle's Apex characters have different uses in ways that my current first edition commanders?
Sure, I can answer that. So, will they have different uses? No. They are, additional to the first edition. So they have the same perks as the first editions, not different from the other first editions, except for the fact that obviously the other ones were much cheaper. They were first sale opportunity, and also they've had opportunities to level up, right? So they're going to be higher level. But all of the first edition commanders do have some new perks coming in the next stage of the game, which hasn't quite been released the information for yet. So that's coming. There's some pretty big perks for first edition commanders specifically, but that is across the board, not specific only to the Castle's commanders or the other first editions, right? They'll be shared between all the first editions. And there will be other first edition commanders from other collaboration events. I know Warsaken is really looking forward to the idea of collaboration commanders with them. So if any of you guys really like Warsaken, they have some pretty awesome, they're already a military themed game. So they've got a lot of art that's very military themed. So it makes a lot of sense. Starship NFT also has expressed a lot of interest in collaboration commanders with their collection. So there's definitely going to be a few more kind of some interesting things coming. But all the first editions will always share the same perks, and that'll be they will be more scarce for sure. There will potentially be some more second editions coming out in the near future too, but those will be much lower priced than first editions.
Yeah, and there's not many of those first edition commanders out there right now. I was just looking at them. There's not many in existence for how much I think Apex game is growing. So Mike Jones says, I'm at the Apex website and NFT art Castle's front end looks so much better. Can't you maybe delegate a couple artists to Apex? Well, Apex isn't actually our project. Like Apex
Right.
NFT is a different company from us. You really have to take that up with them.
It's definitely a different art style, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question. Castles here at Castles, right? We pay, like, let's call a spade a spade. I personally believe that Castles has some of the best art in all of NFT space, by maybe a wide margin, in fact. But the fact is that we pay a lot for it, right? We work with some of the best artists to make sure that our art is majorly top notch. With Apex Conquest, the game is designed to be much more collaboration based, and so it's not as profitable. Let's just be honest. There's not a ton of money in it for the Apex team, and so they can't really afford to have the art as high quality as we can at Castles. That's just kind of what it comes down to. And I still really like Apex Conquest art personally. I like it a lot, but it is a different style, and it's definitely less it's definitely intentionally less high quality. I mean, looking at the background behind me right now, right? This is our Arcane Sanctum that you will be seeing in the Dungeons expansion. And I'm sure you've seen it on promos and things like that. And it's beautiful. And it took a ton of work to get this art. And just long story short, they don't want to spend that much money, right? And that's understandable. Money doesn't grow on trees, I'm afraid. So it is what it is. They're trying to keep costs down. So
yeah, and just to be clear, the Apex Conquest is a different game. Josh is on board with them as a consulting designer. But I am actually like 100% focused on castles. So I don't spend any time on Apex Conquest. We're pretty close with Victor, who is the CEO of Apex Conquest. They've taken really good care of our gamers, and they don't have to put in as much work and effort and what is the other word that I'm looking for? Like, they don't have to care as much as they have. They don't have to put as much effort as they've been putting in. And so they do under promise and over deliver, and that's just the kind of people that you want to be friends with. It's one of the people you want to be partners with. So we do work with them on the game, but their vision is different from ours. So I can't tell you what Victor's vision is. You'd have to go and ask him what his vision is and what his vision is for Apex Conquest. I can tell you what my vision for Castles is, which is it's the best blockchain game out there, that people feel like their time and effort is fairly rewarded for the assets that they have. And we can't control prices, not really on the secondary market, though we are aware of that. We are aware that secondary market prices are something that you guys deal with and do want to see go up. So we take that into account with the game, and we love to see secondary market prices go up. So, we try to make decisions that influence the game in a way that assets become scarcer, and that they're distributed in a fair way for what your time and effort investment is. That's why we think this free-to-play mode is going to be very, very successful in the long term, is not necessarily because any kind of tokenomics or anything like that. It's really just like basic fundamentals. Like, it does take time and effort and even intrinsic value. It takes intrinsic value for you to even mint power-ups. Like, you have to go and pay the wax fees to do the power-ups. And in this way, there's this very fundamental fundamental set of, I don't want to say the word economics, but logistics of time and effort for you in order to play that game and produce any kind of value. And I think that just those fundamentals are very important. So I kind of went down the rabbit hole, just things that, I think about, and I'm just kind of regurgitating to you guys here now, because constantly every day, Robert is thinking about, like, what is the ideal, and I'm trying to build the ideal with castles. So for me, the ideal is this, and it's this. It also that it looks and it feels like a place that you want to be. It's a place that is enjoyable, that you feel delighted to come back to castles and play castles, and so that is part of the look of it. You could almost call it looking like a toy. It's not exactly a toy, but when you look at castles, I want you to feel this feeling of delight and fascination, and the feeling that you belong here and you want to come back to here. And so that is really the vision behind castles, and why it looks the way it is, and why we have spent a large amount of resources on the way it looks. Just the amount of time and effort that has gone into, literally, I think if you were to put a number on it, it's almost like 10 to 20 times more effort for an artist to make a lot of our art the way it looks than it is to make it simpler. And so whether or not that was the right idea for us, we've made our decisions. It is what it looks like. And it's taken the time that it's taken. But it's definitely something that set us apart from the competition out here in Wax. And I know that every time I come to log into the game, I'm smiling. I'm like, this just looks amazing. This feels fun. And this is exactly what we wanted. And we hope that you guys enjoy it too. So anyways, kind of went, but that, that is our unique vision for the game. And for Apex, we'll just kind of talk to them about, what theirs is. I think it's probably something more along the lines of providing value for Wax. It really is a great metaverse game. Apex Conquest is a great metaverse game. You're able to go in there, build your army. You're able to look at, what tokens you might want to use your army on, because some of those tokens are worth more one day than they are another day. So it's a really fascinating way to run a metaverse economy. Julian M says, Rob is feeling good today. Free to play has revitalized his energy. You're not wrong. I'd say you're onto a few things there, but I am feeling pretty good. Yeah, free to play it's really exciting to like build something and then have a hope for how it works out, and then it does start to do very well. And a lot of how free to play is going right now is really just the whole team. Started with Josh and I wanting to create good free to play mode or an easy way for you to be able to claim tokens. There are different ideas that Josh and I had. He felt that just being able to earn tokens like Msource is very important. I just wanted to fight for the ideal. So we had a couple of different sessions where we were sharing different ideas, and he was like, well, what about this? And I was like, well, what about this? And what about this? What about that? And so it took us months to come out with a good free-to-play version. I wish we had this idea way back in the beginning, but it took time for us to kind of sort through the ideas of what worked and what didn't work. And so it all comes back to the base fundamentals. I think he and I kept looking at the base fundamentals of what would work, and what was a good idea and what was fun. It always came back to what was fun. It was like, is this fun? Is that fun? And we know that people like to trade. So I think we've created something that was kind of non-obvious. It's actually a term that's used a lot when you write patents. I know I wrote a patent for technology that our company owns, and it has a patent pending for it. And they have this term for non-obvious, which means if you look at something, it might not be obvious to other people that this works. Letting people own a token, pretty simple. Giving scarcity to a token so that like a limited distribution to a token, pretty simple. Adding in these layers of playing a game and having something that is fun and feels rewarding to somebody, opening a pack and hoping that you get your faction instead of like factions that you don't want. And then I love seeing people trading these items too, and trading items that they want to exchange for a different faction, because I think there's something intrinsically human that wants to do that. This function of like, man, like I call it the berry in the basket, the hunter-gatherer concept. Mainly the gatherer concept, I guess, here, where you didn't get what you want, so you have to go find the thing that you do, or rather, you can have 5 different berries in 5 different baskets. You want to make sure you put the right berries in the right basket. It's something weird and primal to human beings, and so I actually use that particular concept to guide me a lot when I build video games, because it's the hunter-gatherer thing. The man wants to go kill something with a spear for meat, and the women want to make sure that berries get put into the right basket. That's some people might call that sexist, but I'm like, it was very traditional back in the day for that to be the way. So we live in a very dynamic world these days, and we're not always, it's not always that particular role is going to those particular people, but I think a lot of the intrinsic human motivation is there, and it's almost like tied to survival too, which is weird, but I think it's just the way our brains are wired. Anyways, going down those deep rabbit holes with Robert Trussardi, we should just like take this out of the video and just be like going down a deep rabbit hole with Robert Trussardi, and then I just talk very quickly for like 2 minutes, and then we speed it up by like 2 times, right, Josh?
My brain is moving really slow. Yeah,
That's
you know how it
that's okay.
is.
That's right. Josh has COVID, guy.
Yeah,
Generally
but
all
no,
day.
I mean we're super the I really have been enjoying the heck out of the free to play mode, right? And Robert's absolutely right. It did take us a lot of time. And I agree with him completely. You know, if we had put together the idea the way it finally turned out months ago, then we would have done it months ago. But we kept going back and forth. There was a lot of different things. You know, the idea of the squire and claiming tokens was part of my original design, which was very different from what this is. But the factions and the power ups was something that was part of Robert's design, which was also very very different from the end result. But with lots of back and forth, we kind of merged the systems together and came up with the best of both worlds. And we really do feel like it is the best. You know, the best that it could be. And I'm sure that there will be improvements over time, you know, maybe with future seasons and quality of life stuff that will be improving. You know, we've mentioned Apex a few different times. The dev team, they do a great job. And sometimes little quality of life improvements, they figure those things out on their own, right? One of the things that I really love about them is they're connected with the game. They all play, they all get on, and you know, they give at least like a basic token asset to every member of their team. I think they've got maybe 10-ish people right now that aren't necessarily all working on every project, but they do still say, hey, this team over here, team A, let's say, has created this new product. I want the rest of you to just play it a little bit and give us just raw feedback. And so a lot of times this goes back to what Robert said earlier about the fact that they really over deliver. You know, we don't pay them to send their other people to play the game and find problems, but they do it. And you know, it really does help. You know, just even during this stream, Victor sending us some messages like, "Hey, the team has encountered this little weird oddity, and we're gonna adjust some quality of life features that should make the messaging a little clearer, and etc." And you know, we didn't even bug him about that they just took the responsibility because they want to make a fantastic game just like we do. So there's just a ton that goes into making these things for you guys. And you know, and on all of that even said, there are still going to be things that we occasionally miss. So your suggestions and feedbacks are always very very much wanted, accepted. You know, will we always implement everything that everybody wants? There's no way, right? It just isn't. People have all kinds of different ideas, and there's no way we can implement every single one of them. Some of them sometimes even are in direct conflict with each other, right? But good quality of life features, if you've got a suggestion like, hey, this could be so much clearer if you just changed this, you know, maybe you're right. And maybe we just hadn't thought of it. So please give us your feedback. And, you know, most of all, like Robert said just a minute ago, we focus on fun. And if you know, if we can make the game more fun, then we'll make the game more fun. You know, any kind of big changes, we'll have to wait till the next season, right? We're not going to make any huge sweeping changes in the middle of the season that just started. But you know, that maybe there will be something new that will come with each season. We already have some different ideas for that, so we're excited to see where it goes.
Right. Alex McCall says, got 18 packs. Let's hope for that. Baron. Good luck,
I want to
Alex.
see it.
Yeah. And thank you for crafting as many miners as you did. You must have crafted a ridiculous amount of miners to get those packs.
I crafted 30, and I ended
Oh,
up
nice.
with five packs. I think that's actually a little bit on the bad end of RNG, but that's okay. I did pull I pulled a city. I opened mine. I pulled a city, so that's pretty
Lucky
sweet.
bastard. Lucky
Yes,
bastard.
exactly. I was going to say I had two. I was one city away from a castle, so I was like, "Oh, heck yes!" I grabbed that city. I crafted that castle.
Sure.
I was all kinds of excited about it. I was
A little
like,
bit of
"Yes!"
karma coming back to you for getting congratulations. But yeah, thank you, Alex, for playing the game and crafting all those miners. That is awesome. Let's see. Smarty says hello. Be back from vacation in 2 days. Good, Smarties. Great to have you back. And in 2 days, J Ray says he won a farm. Congratulations, J Ray. I also says all prizes have been sent? Question mark.
Yes, all the prizes, all the packs. You do need to open them. Remember, open them on Nifty Blocks. You can find them in my packs. I posted it on Discord. So you can just follow that link, make sure you're logged into your wallet, and they'll be in there. So that's it. Does just remember it does have to be on Nifty. Don't burn them on Atomic Hub.
Yeah, so this is still the AMA segment, so you guys can ask us any questions. And I also want to say that I just checked the DApp radar. We actually just surpassed Mining Network, which is has been one of the top games on DApp radar as far as all the transactions are being tracked and users being tracked. So we just surpassed them in active daily users. So from number 7, we're now number 6 on DApp radar for Wax blockchain games. So that is pretty awesome. I'm not going to, name names. Well, maybe I might. We'll see. But there are games out there, guys, that run their own bot farms, meaning that there are developers who make games and then they know exactly how to play that game and how to basically do well so that they can profit off players, and then they run their own bot farms. They automate their games. And I'm not gonna. Maybe I shouldn't name names here. You guys know some of the ones. Farmers World was one of the biggest ones, right? But those developers, like, they make these games with the plans to automate their games and basically milk the player base dry. We don't do that. So all of this growth is organic. It is, other players, other users who are, making accounts to play the game. And so all of that is organic. And so anyways, I just like to say that mostly because I want you to avoid the games out there that are designed to steal your money, because they exist and they often tend to be very high ranking and do very well for a short period of time. It's highly risky. Maybe you'll do well. I've actually done well off projects that were very short-lived. But especially in this current market, the risk is exceptionally higher than it was during the bull run. I think a lot of people who made a lot of profits during the bull run, and they're trying to get the same results out of short-lived games. I don't advise it. I don't advise it because, chances are you're going to get screwed. And I think you should play our game because it's fun, and we work hard to basically make the best game, and we do our best to make sure that it is fair for your time and effort that you put in, and that is what we do. So it's my wish that you guys stay away from the projects that are designed to basically milk you dry. That is what I suggest, and run their own bot farms. It's just ethically wrong. And I'm not going to say where I was the other day, but I was in a chat the other day, and some person was just like, oh, well, what are you going to do? Like, go after those companies that are in other countries? And like, what are you going to do about it? No, they didn't necessarily say those words, but that was kind of like the way I took it. It was like, what are you going to do about it? It's just like, well, I'm going to get on my YouTube and I'm going to tell people to avoid the hell out of those games. That's what I can do. Right. All right. And I'm also trying to reach out to make sure that those games get as little visibility and as little, basically, try to make sure that as few users can fall for those games as possible. I do try to do my best for that. Northside Ragnarok says, when wallet login on castles, Wombat wallet login on a castle site. I'm actually not very familiar with that problem. I've heard
I can talk about that a tiny bit. I've been looking into that. I've talked to Victor a couple of different times about Wombat wallet login. It's pretty complicated. I'm not sure what the problem is, right? I mean, I go to Nifty Blocks. Like, I created a Wombat wallet because I was trying to figure out, like, why is this so complicated? And I don't know the answer yet. we haven't mastered whatever it is that they're doing with their systems. Is kind of the long story short. I created one and I tried to use it myself because a couple of different games have Wombat login now. So I went over to Nifty Blocks because they have partial Wombat wallet support, and it did not work. Like I couldn't log into it. I have the Wombat wallet extension on my not Chrome, on my Brave browser, right? So I have that, and it wouldn't work. It just kept failing over and over again. It would never let me log in. And that's the same problem that Victor has had. They've been trying to implement the Wombat wallet login for castles. They want to implement it for their other games. They have other games that they've made for other teams, including Dark Galaxies comes to mind off the top of my head. And everybody's interested in Wombat wallet logins, but we're having trouble with it. So and I've reached out to their team a couple of different times. They have some documentation that's not super clear, and I can't get a hold of their team. They don't respond to my emails. So if any of you has a personal connection with any of their mods or their developers, we would absolutely love to support it. We'll do the work. I've already talked to Victor about it a bunch of times. We're super willing. We're having trouble getting it to work properly. So please, be patient with us. And two, if you do have the ability to help, please do. And if you know somebody else who has really mastered it, maybe not even Wombat team, if there's a different game that you're already playing that has Wombat wallet login and it's working really well, have those devs reach out to us and just give us the pointers, right? Apex will be happy to learn that new skill and add it to all their different games, because we do want to support the different wallet logins. It's been a hassle. So definitely let us know.
All right, Mechaverse says, big guys on stream. Hello, good to see you, Mechaverse. Thank you for joining us. So James Nage says, got in late. Have you guys thought about making the FTP packs or free-to-play, I guess, free-to-play packs be stored in-game and then only mint the NFT when someone tries to withdraw them, like with Lumber FT versus NFT? Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I thought about it, and here's the thing, is that it's just way better to have people put some skin in the game with the actual minting of the NFT. Honestly, if you didn't have to pay that base blockchain fee in order to even have an NFT in the first place, I would probably still fight for having some kind of small cost for the packs. And it'd basically be the same. It'd basically still just be 0.1 wax or 0.12 wax per a creation of that, because it's just basic logistics and physics. The people powering up have to put some kind of skin in the game for those to actually have any real value. Otherwise, basically everything would be worth nothing. You would you could export that a stack of 100, and if anything, it'd probably more encourage the bot farms than it does already, because the bot farms would then just create thousands of accounts and then send the FTs to each other and then mint out 1,000 of the T's for 0.1. I mean, it would just be, it would basically make playing the game not even worth it on a transactional level in terms of trading wax for assets. And then I just kind of go down the rabbit hole there, but I just think this is a very simple way to give people a base skin in the game level, and it is far healthier to do it that way than to basically turn this into something where everything is only worth a fraction of a cent.
Right.
I think having everything worth at least a cent is better than a fraction of a cent.
I think the bot argument is one of the biggest ones there. It is a big deterrent. And of course, if somebody wants to play completely and totally free, they can ignore that element and they can just claim. and that's completely free. So that's fine if they choose to do that. But Robert's right. It does add intrinsic value to the thing if it has some value, right? And it does discourage the million accounts that bots have created, the different bot farms accounts, that don't hold any wax, right? They don't have any wax at all, so they can't come in and be claiming those packs because they don't have any. And so it really does help protect the integrity of the game, and this seasonal aspect of it by having that. And I know it is going to be occasionally. I mean, let's just be honest. Occasionally, that'll probably annoy some people, right? Who are real players, and that's not the goal. But we do want to make sure that these things do have at least kind of a very small floor base value. Because if it costs you 0.12, I know it's such a very small amount, right? It's a couple of pennies or about a penny, right, to mint these things. So it's very cheap. But if that's how much it costs you to mint it, then there's no way that anyone will ever sell it for less than that, or they're doing so at a loss, right? So it does kind of create that floor, and having some kind of floor is better than nothing. Even if it was very cheap.
Yeah, and just doing the math, so towards the end of the season, just to buy one new pack in terms of the tokens is going to cost you about, was it 40,000 or more of the banquet coin tokens, right?
It gets pretty high. Yeah.
So it'll cost about 40,000, but if you've been playing the whole time and minting, you should be able to buy almost like one or two of those a day. But if you wanted to be able to basically, have that many, like let's say someone wants to create a bunch of bots in order to compete with that. Well, and they didn't buy any power-ups whatsoever. They were just like making accounts to make tokens. They would have to make 800 accounts in order to have one account worth that was just playing the whole time. And so, that's kind of the whole intrinsic value argument that we have here. And that I think just costs like maybe $4 or something like that, inside of, maybe it's more than that, but it's really like a cost of value. If you're playing the game and it only costs you $4 to $8, for a whole season to basically play the game and mint all the tokens that you want during the time. And the other thing is, hey, like, you know what? Maybe it's actually sometimes cheaper for you to just go buy these on the secondary market than it costs you to mint them. I mean, that is actually part of what this whole floor minting cost actually creates, is an actual like kind of floor on the minting costs. And so anyway, so those are some of the logistics of why we do it. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. If not, you'll just have to keep watching it and keep an eye out for how this is actually the healthiest way to do it. He also says after that that less people would complain about the fees until they actually want to sell. Well, I guess it's kind of a moot point just based on everything that we said. The fees are kind of what they are. So Debbie Metal says Baron Trossi pulled 2 miners from his rewards. Congratulations, Baron Trossi. He's a big supporter of ours. So congratulations, sir. You're awesome. So happy for you. You got either mint number 1, 2, or 3. Really lucky bastard there too, by the way.
Yeah, that's awesome luck.
Alex says he didn't get the Baron, but he got 3 villages. Let's hope we're better in the land pack crafting giveaway. Know the feeling. I've opened a bunch of those reward packs sometimes just from the raffles and just gotten like farms. We've had some past shows. Go back and watch past shows where basically I get destroyed and Josh is meantime pulling bounties and other really high value assets.
Okay.
Austin Hannah says, is it possible for the free-to-play game to auto-reload the page when you do stuff. I keep forgetting to refresh it. We'll look into the refreshing. There's a lot of fine tuning for us to do for the mode. I'm sure Apex and I and us we'll keep looking at ways to fine tune that. But refreshing is something we'll look into. Yes, I noticed.
Yeah. So on this, the site does actually already do this. It's kind of a thing about timing though. Blockchain actions take variable amounts of time, right? So the site does actually have an auto reload already. You can't even see it. It just does it in the background. So sometimes, like for instance, say you bought 40 Ts on the secondary market, right? You'll need to refresh your page to see that. But chances are they'll be there, and then you power up with 5 of them at a time. If the blockchain is really snappy, you will actually see if you power up with 5 and you wait a few seconds, it will subtract those 5 automatically and add the power. And then you can power up again. You don't have to click the refresh button. But sometimes it doesn't work. And the reason for that is the blockchain may not have, maybe we have, say, a 5-second delay on the refresh. Like you do an action, 5 seconds later, it does a soft refresh of certain elements. And if the blockchain took longer than 5 seconds to do the action, you won't see it. And so that's why the refresh button is in there. We can fine tune it, like Robert said, but there's no perfect solution for that because the blockchain sometimes is just going to be slower. And we don't want to make it like a super slow refresh because then you're like waiting and waiting, and you could just click the button much faster than you can. You don't want to wait 30 seconds or a minute for that refresh when you could just go over and click the manual refresh and it'd be way faster. So it is already there technically, and if you play on the right time of day when everything is really snappy, you can see it. I know for an absolute fact that I've seen it myself. It is there and it does work. It just doesn't always work, and it's kind of an intrinsic nature of blockchain kind of a thing.
Gonna jump ahead to this question. James Nagy says, have we thought about adding a thing under open pack that says costs so much wax, etc.? Explain it's for the minting fees. That update I think is actually going to go live today. We're going to add a little
Info
exclamation point info button that does specify that. So appreciate that feedback. That should happen today, latest tomorrow. Might have already happened actually. I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping up with our work chat here.
I don't think it's in yet, but we do. But yeah, like you said, it is coming. Yeah, it's not in yet. I just refreshed. But yeah, we did already. Yeah, we got that feedback from a couple of different people. We put some verbiage together. It's a very good idea. We'll have a little button for that to, so if anybody's confused about it or whatever, they can click the little info button, and they can get a quick explanation.
Yeah, James Curtin says, I've tried spreading the word when we're on Twitch. He says, that's why I was glad to see you here. How did you hear? I'm not sure what he means by how did you hear. How did we hear what, James?
Oh, I think he's probably talking to somebody else at Infinity. Yeah, see.
Oh, he's talking to Infinity. Okay. Great. And Northside Ragnarok says, following up on that thing, says Realm Team, they just add the Wombat.
I'll have to. I have one contact with Realm, one of their community mods. So I did hear that they just added that. So I'll reach out and bug them.
So J Ray all day asks if we have future crafting events for crafters like lumberjacks, carpenters, or miners, would the crafting resources needed be increased? Would they be the same art, or would they be Series 2 crafters? We are kind of scaling the consumption of the resources as there are more. How much they, if they cost more, how much would they be? We don't know. Would we make more than we don't know? There's, we're kind of keeping track of it. We like scarcity. We like it when, basically the player base increases and the demand for assets increases. And we like seeing the prices increase. But we also want to make sure that the game is still reasonably fair for, people who are playing, people who want to get in. So we kind of take all these things into account. Right now, there's no plans for, when another craft event might happen for those guys, and they'd probably just use the same art. I don't see a reason to do another one. Also, the art takes a lot of time and money for us to do, so that's another reason. But hopefully that answers your question. Northside Ragnarok says, "What about in-game multi-language?" That is, our volume is still too low to even consider that. If we luckily, if you speak another language, you can basically, select most of our text that is written there on the website, paste it into a translator, and it will translate it, and people can make some sense of it. But we really need a much larger audience in order for us to start to prioritize doing different languages. We're just going to need way more users. So, tell your friends that have other languages. It is a good question, but we just need more users in order to make that viable for us. And still following up on James's thing there. So Discord isn't filled with so many members. Asking about Apple Pay. Yeah, I guess we already talked about that. The information is going to be there.
Same. Yep. Yeah, see, Eddie, if you look down, two comments from that, from the one you have highlighted. Eddie brings up the sometimes when you're land merging it refreshes automatically. It does try to. So we do try and include as many quality of life things as possible. It just sometimes with blockchain things, the timing of things don't always work quite right. And so, manually refreshing with a hard refresh, or the little refresh buttons that we include on most pages, is occasionally going to be necessary.
Yeah, so he's just pointing out, there was a miscommunication with the development team. So I'm telling Victor right now.
It's a work in progress, right? The items are, we're trying to get that all figured out. They were shifting some things around, so we'll get that sorted out. We're just trying to get quality of life things, and there were some miscommunications on where we wanted things moved and etc. And so it's a quality of life thing. We're fixing it.
Did you talk to Victor about that particular issue?
Yes. Yeah, I think they're aware of it, but of course we'll double check. I need to double check on my end, because if you scroll down, it looks like it's working properly down below, and it's just your faction that still has a little bit of a bug.
Yeah, I think it was a miscommunication with the team there. Victor is apparently at a convention, but still able to respond to my text. He's a beast. I don't know how he does that. All right. So, right. Let's go back into the chat here. But thank you for pointing that out, James. Appreciate it. James says, really enjoyed this AMA, listening to your passion strategies. A lot of projects don't seem to have a realistic projection. Like you guys really like when you said under promise and over deliver. Yeah, I mean, that's what we want to do. And I was saying specifically that's Apex has been doing that for us. And to be honest, we're really kind of discovering how this whole blockchain gaming thing can best work. If you've been watching some of our AMAs, you've probably seen me say, we didn't necessarily know what the best practices were coming into blockchain gaming, and we're learning as we go along. And it just turns out that a lot of it really works for blockchain games and gaming is a combination of what just works intrinsically in the real physical actual world in terms of logistics. If you want to make a hammer, you need components, like you need, you know, some wood, you need like a rock or something, and you know, those base components can only make so much of a hammer. You can't, you know, you can't take like a handful of sticks and rocks and make like 100 hammers. Maybe you can make one. You know, that's just kind of real logistics, right? We're kind of learning that really works. And also when it comes to the game, we're discovering that like really the fun has to work. You just can't basically create a like a faucet, as some people call it, like here, click a button and get 5 tokens, or do you know, a, what do you call it, a staking pool. It's like, hey, stake 5 tokens, get like, you know, 50-60% APR. Like that stuff simply on its own doesn't work. You know, it's all about respecting people's time and effort. And when you can merge that with logistics into the game, create something more fair and sustainable inside of a player-owned economy. But yeah, that's just kind of like what we've discovered. And to be honest, I love this stuff. I love thinking about this stuff. I love obsessing over how to create these virtual economies. It's you know, it's just I don't know how else to put it. I think about it all the time. I'm sure Josh thinks about it a lot of the time too. But it's cool to be able to have these things because we couldn't have them until recently. It's a whole new kind of thing, and it's really exciting to be on the frontier of creating this stuff because it's never existed before now. You know, we've dreamt of virtual worlds and having virtual economies, and you know, we've only had them in very limited capacities. You know, World of Warcraft can trade items, Project Entropia, you know, just I just didn't think it was fun, didn't have where the fun was. But you know, now Josh and I actually get to create our ideal version of virtual economies, and Castles is just the start. Like literally we're just at the beginning of Metasource Games and the company and the Castles universe. You know, very early days for us. You know, like our game has been, the Castles game has been live for like 8 months, and you know, we want to build a actual 3D massively multiplayer RPG based in the Castles universe. So we've been working on that in the background. You know, what does that world look like? How does it operate? What are the incentives for holding lands and using heroes and you know, transporting items from one place to another? So this is really exciting stuff that's still really kind of too early to talk about. But you know, the Castles 3D MMO will be very similar in that it's going to respect your time and effort. And you know, there's some other really cool things we're cooking up as well. Let's see, groundbreaking stuff. So James Lange asked, what faction did you end up rolling and free to play? I am builders all the way. I'm very happy with my role. How about you, Josh?
I ended up with Gaia, so the struggle is very real. Gaia is super competitive, you know, and of course I contributed to some of that. I know Kevin Smack also is on Gaia, so me and him yesterday, while he was doing his video, he was buying stuff up on secondary, and I was like, no, stop buying stuff, I'm buying stuff, and we were like going back and forth on the leaderboard. Like he would leapfrog me and then I would leapfrog him, and we were going back and forth, and now both of us have been blown out of the water by people working even harder than we did. Yeah, Gaia has been super competitive, and I don't know why specifically, but yeah, it definitely has been. It's been a lot of fun though. I'm enjoying the heck out of it.
Yeah, so I think the stream is winding down. Appreciate you guys joining us. We'll let Josh go back to resting and getting better. So thank you, Josh, for joining me today. I know you were feeling under the weather, but you still made it. So remember, we have that drop tomorrow, the Commander drop, the collaboration with Apex NFT. Those first edition Commanders, they give you double experience normal Commanders, and there's not very many of them. There's only going to be 100 of these. They're going to go for $100, and that's going to be it. Once the 100 is gone, it is gone. And I'm sure after the free play mode, you know, we're much more popular now and tomorrow than we were in the previous days. And there's just not many of those first edition commanders out there yet as well. And they'll be collector's items. They'll be pretty cool.
Yes,
Right.
and you can get your carpenter waifu commander. I'm sure that I have a pretty strong feeling that the carpenter is going to be the most popular for obvious reasons, right? Everybody wants some of that elf action, so maybe you'll be one of the lucky ones that gets them. Good luck.
Watch out for Eddie Longshanks, everybody. You might want to get a taste tester if you buy any cake from him.
Yeah, watch out for those Nightshade folks, man. They're shifty. They're shifty.
But I like that Eddie kind of got like the, because Nightshade is I think it's poisonous plant, right? Or poisonous flower. So
Yep.
it's kind of cool to like have, I just love the factions, the way that we have like the builders, kind of, they all kind of have like themes to them and kind of layers to it. It is a crafting game and you can be builders. So you can have some pride in getting builders if you like the concept of building, or if you like the concept of being like maybe shifty or being something that is kind of related to the night, like I don't want to say what's a word that's kind of like depression but not, it's like if you want to be like basically like Wednesday Addams, Nightshade is probably for you. And if you're more earthy and you like the earth and Gaia is the name of a Greek goddess, Gaia, that was basically like an earth goddess, and so that's kind of more to nature, and you kind of got this nice little array of things that meaning different things. Now they're all getting into it. Emo, yeah. If you're emo, you probably want to be Nightshade. That's probably the one for you.
Yeah, as we update, the rewards and things, and get a little more competition going, Discord roles and channels and things, we do expect there to be some fun interplay and friendly competition between the factions and things like that. And it's been a lot of fun already, just the leaderboards from the get-go. And I know there's been some back and forth on how they're working, but we'll make sure that they, if they have any trouble in the future, we'll keep fixing it.
Awesome. So thank you guys for playing and watching us. Thank you for crafting the miners. It was a lot of fun to play with you guys. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. And keep playing the free to play mode. It's starting to heat up. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Tell your friends. Before I forget, I've mentioned it a couple of different times, but there may still be some people in here who haven't heard it. If you have some real life friends who want to come play the free-to-play mode, but they don't have the wax to cover the wallet creation fee, we did reach out to the wax team. We've been working with them a little bit more closely recently, which should be very fruitful and come towards some very exciting things in the near future that I won't tell you about yet. But we do have some really good things coming, and with that, they have given us a number of wallet creation keys that will waive that 5 wax fee. So if you have some real friends and you want them to be able to play the free to play, have them come into Discord, chat with us and the mod team, and we will get them a free code, save them the 5 wax. They won't have to worry about wallet creation fees. We can take care of it.
It's okay. You can tell you're not real friends and make a wallet for them. Okay.
Yeah, imaginary friends are okay too.
You guys are just going down the rabbit hole now.
I didn't realize that was going to open a can of worms.
Yeah, we're all very social people here. Anyways, we love you guys. We'll see you guys in Discord. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Gaia rules.